some people ask a question which is very, very common. Why did God not create a world which was free of merit and demerit right from the beginning? Obviously, there must have been a beginning someday when karma began. So why didn't he create a universe without merit and demerit? This question itself is wrong, because I mentioned to you that creation and dissolution is a beginningless process. There is no once upon a time. You know, you have fairy tales, once upon a time. You can compare this process of creation and dissolution to a round circle, a continuous circle. If I ask you, what is the starting point of the circle? I have no answer. Let me ask you another question. Which came first, the seed or the tree? You will say the seed came first, obviously, because it is from a seed that a tree grows. But where did the seed come from? Seed came from the tree. And where did the tree come from? From the seed. And where did the seed come from? From the tree. There you go. Circular reasoning. It is like a logical seesaw. Again, if I ask you which came first, the hen or the egg, what will you say? Think about it. You'll be trapped. The mind is not accustomed to think about infinity. What I'm talking to you now is about infinity. We cannot grasp infinity because we are so used to thinking about a beginning, a once upon a time. However, there are some religions that talk about a beginning of creation. But if you presume that there was a beginning one day, there will be a lot of unanswered questions. If we accept God as the creator and there was a beginning to creation, was this universe a place where everything was good, or was there bad here? You will obviously say that creation by God has to be good, isn't it? Then where did the bad come from? We can see that there is a combination of both good and bad in the world today. Where did the bad come from? There will be a lot of unanswered questions. This is the truth, that creation is eternal. Jiva bhuta sanatana, Lord Krishna says in the 15th chapter, 7th verse of the Bhagavad Gita. Another question that people ask is, why did God create a universe where some people are treated well and some people are treated badly? Again, this question is wrong, because all this is got nothing to do with God. It is got to do with our karma. In fact, this creation is an outflow of the joy and mercy of God. Creation is a result of His causeless mercy. If anyone were to ask you a question, what is the reason for creation? This is the answer you should give. You might say, let me first understand it myself. How can you say that creation is an outcome of the grace of God when there is so much of suffering here? I mentioned to you that suffering is due to our karma, and the reason why God releases creation is that He wants to give us an opportunity to atone for our past actions and perform the right actions which are going to liberate us from the bondage of karma forever. This web of karma which we are trapped in, we can be freed from it by performing the right action. And that is why God releases creation. He wants us to get out of this vicious cycle of birth and death and go to that divine abode. There is another world, an eternal world of perfect happiness, of pure love. And that is where we belong. He wants to give us an opportunity to reach that world and experience that everlasting divine bliss which we have been searching for since time immemorial. So when the entire creation was in a dormant state, seed form, unmanifest, God could not bear to see us in that form. He wanted us to experience divine happiness, divine bliss. Therefore, He released creation to give us a chance to go to the divine abode. This is the reason for creation. His boundless mercy is grace. Now, some people say, well, I understand what you have said so far, but I still have one more question. Granted that all this suffering, misery, etc. is due to our own karma. But isn't God all-powerful? He can do whatever He desires to. Then why does He not pardon us? Why does He not forgive us and get us out of this mess? He can do everything. Kartum kartum manyatha kartum samartha. He is all powerful. Well, this is one thing that God cannot do because He Himself is bound by divine laws. If He could do this, if He could release us from the bondage of karma, He would have done it by now. Why would He want to go through the boring task of writing all our karma and giving us a reward for it? It's a very difficult task. I'm sure He must be fed up with our actions by now. He could have released us, but no. It is not possible. We have to work out our karma. And God releases creation because He wants to give us a chance to atone for our past actions and be liberated from the cycle of birth and death. One last question left. If God is all-pervading, He pervades every particle of this universe, then why do we not experience His presence? We experience so many things in the world. We see, we hear, we smell, we touch. And God is blissful, loving, merciful. How is it that we do not experience this at all? The Bible says, in happiness and misery, God is equally present. Open your eyes and see Him. Our eyes are opened, but we do not see anything. We see negativity. We see the faults of other people. We are restless. We are unhappy. Why do we not experience the blissful presence of God? The answer is pretty simple. in the material world itself, we do not experience or see so many things. Can you see the amoeba with your naked eye? No. You probably need a high-power microscope to see it. Can you see those galaxies I talked about, which are thousands and thousands of light years away? No, you cannot. You need a telescope. So our senses, mind, and intellect, these are the instruments we have. They are limited, they are imperfect, they are material. God is a divine entity. So therefore, we cannot experience His presence. We cannot see Him with our limited material senses, mind, and intellect. But the truth is absolutely evident because the saints had divine vision and they lived in this very world that we live in. They experienced the presence of God in every particle. Siya Ram Maya Sab Jag Jane. In fact, the saints even saw their beloved Lord in those who abused them. Jit dekho tit श्याममयी है, श्याममयी है. This is the experience of the gopis, the supreme amongst all saints. They saw nothing but their beloved Lord Krishna everywhere. So there is nothing wrong there. It is our vision that is defective. There are instances of defective vision in this material world also. A person who suffers from jaundice sees white objects as yellow. The yellow color falls on the object and the white object is perceived as yellow. Do you know that a person who is bitten by a snake finds the bitter margosa leaf, which is called neem, to be sweet? Now, if such a person tells you that this leaf is so sweet, you will never believe it because your experience tells you that it's bitter. If you look at the world through a colored glass pane, you will see the world as colored. And it is with this vision that we have seen God when He descended. We saw God face to face, but we projected our own material thoughts. We are hypnotized, we are infected by the disease of Maya, which consists of the three modes: Sattvagun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. I'll discuss this point in detail. Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, 13th verse, Tribhir gunamayair bhavaire sarvamidam jagat mohitam nabhijanati mamebhya paramavyayam. Arjuna, I am beyond the three modes of Maya, and therefore those who are hypnotized by Maya, the three gunas, they cannot see me or know me. That is why, although God pervades each and every particle in this universe, we do not experience His presence in the world at all. You can understand this from an example. Two hungry ants went out in search for food. They ended up on a mountain, a big pile of sugar. After enjoying this mountain of sugar, both of them returned home and exchanged their experiences. They talked to each other about what they had eaten. One of the ants said, "Oh, I enjoyed my meal today, but I'm concerned because I may end up with diabetes. I ate so much sugar today." Sugar? Are you crazy? We were on the same mountain together and I also tasted it was there. That mountain was not of sugar. There was only salt there. I tasted it myself. Salt? You are wrong. I tasted it. It was sugar. It was sweet. One said it was sweet. One said it was salty. Which of these ants was wrong? Neither of them. The one who tasted the mountain to be sweet was right because there was sugar all the way there. And the one who stated that there was only salt there was also right because this second ant had a big crumb or grain of salt in its mouth. So all along, it tasted only the crumb of salt that was in its mouth and not the sugar. We are like the second ant. We are infected by the disease of Maya. Therefore, we do not experience the all-pervasive presence of God, and nor did we benefit from the Supreme Being when He descended on this earth. Also, we did not recognize saints because we projected our own material thoughts towards them and saw them as ordinary material beings. Now, how do we get out of this disease, this hypnotism of Maya? We want to be liberated from this cycle of birth and death, from the bondage of karma. How do we go about it? Quite simply, we can be liberated from Maya when we attain God. Our goal of happiness also can only be attained when we attain God, because our desire for happiness is rooted in the fact that we are parts of Him and He is bliss. So we have to attain God. How we are going to go about it will be discussed not today, but we will follow up this important subject tomorrow. Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki, Srimad Sadguru Sarkar ki.
Radhe Radhe Govinda, 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 Radhe Radhe Govinda. Govinda. Govinda,